Welcome to my new series, Sundays with Susie. Come on in. Hello everybody, it's Julia Laird with Senior Susie Stamps, and today is Sunday, and I thought I would start a new little series, Sundays with Susie. And I hope that it inspires you a little bit. I've gotten my Thursday scrap series is going to come to an end in about a month or so, and so I thought I would start something a little new this year and finish it up in the spring perhaps. But I wanted to go ahead and finish these little stencil pieces that I made on Thursday, and I thought I would just show you what I'm working on. Now this was the bag that I stenciled, if you recall, on Thursday. And then this was the ink that I picked up off the stencil. I've gone ahead and made a couple of cards already off of those other two pieces. Let me show you them right quick. This has got a little glitter glue on it, and I'm hoping it's dry because I just put it on there not too long ago. But I used washi tape. I got my little bin of washi tape out. This is the Christmas washi. And there's a little video on making the little tray to go in this Swiffer mop container. Works great for me. I have those all over the studio now. But anyway, this little snowman guy is a Inky Antics stamp, P28981-3L. And of course it's an old stamp. I got it from eBay several years ago, but any cute snowman stamp will work for this type of card. And I just took the sheet of these. I had 3 of them, if you remember, and I took the one that had the least amount of ink on it, just using it for a background. I cut it down a 1/2 inch so that it is 5 by 3 3/4, and then I just wrapped it with some washi tape in alternate patterns, and it was this one and this one that had Merry Christmas on it. Now my washi tape I've gotten in little sets of tape that I found either at Hobby Lobby or primarily Amazon, so you just have to look for it. Gosh, washi tape is very abundant. Just choose what you like. Now what I find with washi tape is sometimes the tack on it kind of goes away if it wasn't really super tacky to begin with. And what I do then on the back side is I'll use a little bit of clear tape and just tape down the back side. This card has a little bit of foam on 2 layers, and it's just a real simple little card, and some little red gems to finish it out. Now on this one, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's got some glitter glue on it also, and I smooshed it on with a dauber. This is 3 pieces of washi tape, 2 real thin layers, and then 1 wider piece. And I put some on a plain white piece of scrap white paper out of my scrap white paper bin, and cut a little bow. I have a bow cutting die, and then I used this little stamp, which is a 2002 Stampin' Up stamp. And just colorized it with some alcohol markers. And I better set this one back aside because it looks like it's still got just a little bit of wet glitter glue on it. But this is a really pretty festive little card out of those inked backgrounds. Now I got this older stamp the other day, and it's a penny black stamp. It's 2485K, called Christmas Window. And as I said, it's 2002 penny black. I got this from eBay. I buy a lot of older used stamps because I feel like people really don't know what to do with their old stamps, so they're offering them up for sale. And when you can find really pretty stamps like this that stamps great, the stamp surface is perfect on it, and the foam is in good shape. This is a really road-worthy stamp and will be for years, I can tell you that right now. But I made an impression on it. I made an impression of the stamp, and then I ran my black microfine pen, and this just happens to be a Winsor Newton, but it's the .1 millimeters. So it's a super fine point. And I just tied the lines together. And then I put this on my scan and cut it. So ultimately, it's just going to be the outline over here on this piece of paper. And I want to go ahead and pull some ink now and colorize this image so that it's kind of similar to what the stamp actually looks like. I did go ahead and trim these panels down to 5 by 3 3/4, so I have some little strips left over to go on the inside or to do something else with, or maybe just throw them out. I'm not sure, but anyway, I'm going to get my ink and I'm going to set this aside for right now and work on colorizing this piece here. So give me just a second, I'll get set up. Now I'm going to use a little square block that doesn't have any grid lines in it, just as kind of a little palette, and I'm going to put my ink down onto that just a little bit. It does not take much at all. This was stamped in Memento Black, and I'm going to use a couple of round brushes. This is a number 1, which is my favorite detail paintbrush to use, and then this is a number 4, and they're both rounds. I have some water here in a little spritz bottle, and I'm just going to put just a teeny little bit of water on that, and I think I'll wet my brush as well, just so that the color that I pick up is kind of dilute. And that's what I'm kind of looking for. And I don't want to be overly detailed about this. I just want kind of a little color to go down into these poinsettias, especially on the first layer. And if it's not exactly in the lines, I'm pretty good with that. When I was working, I worked in dialysis for a long time, and one of the fundraisers that we did for the kidney foundation was a poinsettia sale every year. And my good friend Caroline was a poinsettia sales queen, I can tell you that right now. But she found a vendor that sold some poinsettias that were party colored. They weren't just red ones, they were pink, and they were partied up with white splotches, and they were just gorgeous. So whenever I'm doing poinsettia cards, I always remember my good friend Caroline. She was a social worker and has retired now finally. But I always think of her, and I try to send her a poinsettia card every year. So this is probably the one that will be going to her, if it turns out. You know, it may still be trash before we're done with it today. I just never know for sure when I start projects like this, especially I haven't done any painting for quite some time now, and sometimes I just don't, my technique just doesn't quite come up to snuff. But you know what, I enjoy this, I really do. It's more relaxing to me than doing alcohol markers. And why that is, I don't know, but with my vision the way it is, it just seems to work a little better for me. But I really enjoy it. These are some paint brushes that were my mother's, and so I just use her art supplies. And that makes this day really enjoyable and kind of a memory lane for me, if you will. Okay, so I think that's all the red we're going to need. That was quick, wasn't it? Quick and easy. let me go ahead and get a baby wipe and we'll change colors. This is an easy process to do, and all I do to clean the brush is to lay it down on top of my baby wipe and spray it with some water, and that usually does it pretty well. Now I think we'll do maybe the sky next. Oh, I probably should have told you that was Real Red, and this is Baja Breeze. I just went over to my little holiday ink stash over there and just grabbed some colors that I thought would look kind of nice. Now I've kind of watered this ink down just a little bit more because we don't really want to have a whole lot of color invading this space too much, I don't think. And I'm just daubing ink in there. Kind of trying to follow the pattern just a little bit of what the original artist put down. There's no point to reinventing the wheel here on this kind of thing, because they are much more talented than I will ever be. So I'm just going to follow their lead and do what I see and try to stop before I mess things up. That's always an issue, isn't it? I always think, well, I ought to stop now, and then I go a little too far. But that's okay too. So I hope you all are having a great day today. It's kind of a cloudy day here in Tennessee, and I've had some interesting things happen this week. I was contacted by a Chinese company about reviewing some of their paper, and I chose not to do that, and I'll tell you why. It's because I kind of didn't want to get into doing product reviews. All they were asking for was a YouTube video to review it, and I just thought, you know, I'm just not going to do that. So you probably won't be seeing that here. Now I'm going to go ahead and change the blue and clean my brush again. These little spray bottles come from Amazon. I got a supply of them several years ago, and they have been really, really handy. Cordelia, what are you doing? Stop that. I think we'll use a little old olive for the green here, just for the leaves, and then I think I'll go back in behind the old olive with just a little soft succulent. I know that sounds kind of like a strange combination, but I thought I'd try it and see. That's all we can do in a project like this, is just kind of see what comes out of it. Old olive is one of my favorite green colors. It has been around forever and ever and ever, hasn't it? And see that number 1 round brush? You can do all kinds of nice detail with that if you have a little control in your hands. Which of course mine's getting less and less as time goes on. But I think this is going to be fine. Let me know in the comments if you kind of like a little series like this. I know when I'm watching YouTube videos, I just get a little tired of always having to be sold something. And so when I started this channel, I really didn't want to get involved in selling stuff. So we kind of go a little different direction here than a lot of channels do. And if you're looking for new stamps and things that you can go and buy and duplicate, you're probably not going to find them here. I'm just going to be honest with you about it. Now the time will tell here whether we like this combination of colors or not. I don't know. I kind of do. What do you think? You may not be able to see the color grades on the camera. I can't tell by looking at the overhead whether you can see it or not. But I like that. I'm going to leave it alone now. Now, I have a little Daffodil Delight that I'm going to do the centers of those. And then we'll be ready to make this card and see where it ends up. And I'm thinking because, well, that's a whole lot more ink than I needed. Thank you. I'm thinking because the black edge here, I may want to put a little bit of black up underneath that card, the stencil part of that card base. I'm going to just brush this yellow in. Really overdid the ink on that, didn't I? I want to come up just a little bit into here some. I don't know. Let me grab a little bit more yellow here. Adds a little more depth, I think, to the poinsettia. There. And then I'm going to take some real dark yellow and do these stars. And I think that might be a little too dark, but it is what it is. Okay. Now I'm going to set that aside and let it dry. So I'll come right back. Hang on just a second now. Follow me over on the Facebook page. You'll know that I've been doing some faux rice paper. And so this is cereal box liner that I was working on my faux rice paper with. I needed that mat, but I've got that other piece taped down to it, so we're just going to use that for a blending mat. And I'm going to go back in with a little bit of this blue, the Baja Breeze, and kind of do a little edge work on this, I think. Just to kind of color coordinate and maybe soften down this real red just a touch. This should be a pretty festive card, I think. And then I think if I'm true to form here, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glitter on that, but I think I'll wait. I'm going to add just a tiny touch of black to back that with, especially up in the corners. You know, we've done this before. It just kind of draws your eye into your focal point. And there. It adds a lot of drama when you add the black in like that. And now I'm going to change from this brush to one of these sponge daubers, and that way I can do the edge just a little bit. You know, you think you have too many supplies in your studio, but honestly, I don't think you can ever have too many supplies. The only time you do is when you don't use them. Then they're just taking up space. So if you've got a lot of stuff and you use a lot of stuff, then more power to you. That's the way I look at life. And it doesn't hurt my feelings at all to have way too much stuff in my studio. Somebody told me I had the sin of gluttony, and I have to agree with them, I really do. But I use my stuff, so I guess I'll just have to bear that, won't I? It's okay. There. Now, I think that's ready. Let's see what we've got going on here. I'm going to get this out of the road and clean that up later. I think I'm going to put this on a top folding card. And I believe I'm going to put it up on foam because it's a little warpy. So let's get that done. I think I'm going to do an even border all the way around here. Now, so, I kind of like that actually. But I think there needs to be a little more detail back here in the back. Just a little bit. Let me see what I can find. I need to mask off just a little bit, because I think I'm going to stamp just a little merry and bright along the edges here. And since I didn't have enough sense to do that before, this is the way you do that now. You just mask off, and that's okay. This is some removable post-it labeling tape. I use it for all kinds of things, and it works really well for this purpose. I don't know that it works really well for wet stuff. I haven't really given it that much of a try, to be honest with you. Okay, let's see about this now. I'm going to switch off to VersaFine. Better move my stuff out of the way, hadn't I? There. And that'll be fun. Oh yeah, I think that adds a little extra interest in there. Just pretty much what we wanted there. Okay. Now I'm going to use some art glitter glue to glue this down with. And try to get all the little points and stuff glued down so that they won't tear up when you're pulling it out of the envelope, because this kind of thing can do that. There we go. Get my tweezers. I'm going to set this down here, kind of in the center of the card, and let it go. Now, the final thing that I want to do is add just a little glitter glue to this card, and I'm going to do that while I've got the masking down. Let me show you how I usually do that in the case like this. Well, I'm wondering what color I should use. I think silver will be fine. And I'm just going to put a little glue on the smooth side of this. You don't need a whole lot, I can tell you that right now. That's probably plenty. And then I just smoosh it on and add it to the edge. It just adds a nice little bit of shine to a simple piece like this, and it sticks. I think we need a little bit more. And then you can just take it to the sink and wash your stuff, and you're all done. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it makes it really, really pretty and festive. Let me pull this off now. You can see the final card then. Probably won't do anything to the inside of this right now, except do a sentiment, but I don't want to fool with it because, you know me, I get it smeared up all over everywhere. But that's the card for today. I don't know if I can get any shine going for you to see or not, but it's really pretty. It's not overdone at all, and I like it. So I hope y'all have a great day and a good weekend. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.